Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 110 of Minnows to Kings in San Marino, where as you can see we have reached the end of the season. 2034-35 seasons, it's our 14th season. We have done the double for the 13th successive season. We're just going to have a quick run through of the end of the season. Obviously starting with the new arrivals. Signing of the season was labelled as Jorge Casanova, the left fullback, brought in for £350,000, a total of 36 appearances with 13 assists for the young Uruguayan, who is improving. I'm quite pleased with his progress. Rafael Silva, in on loan from Arsenal for a total of £1.2 million, 47 appearances, 18 goals with 33 assists. He's done really, really well. I am tempted to put a bid in for him. He's driven. The only thing I don't like is his consistency. I may actually just bring him back on loan again, if possible, rather than spend the money. Hassan Saglam, the board with an F, probably because we paid $12.75 million for him, but 41 appearances with 28 assists. Again, for the young Turkish man, he's done quite well. Model citizen as well. It doesn't look like he's improving here, but he has made some signs of improvement. Miguel Benavides started off as the cover at centre-half. He's actually finished the second half of the season as a starting centre-half alongside Martin Nunez. He's chipped in with 15 goals this season from centre-half. Has the young Argentinian, who again has done quite well for us. Gatta, the Italian striker, brought in again, cost us a little bit of money from Atalanta, but he's chipped in with 17 goals and 12 assists. Juric, the goalkeeper, 3.3 million, 26 appearances. I don't think he's actually conceded in the league. No, he's conceded 1 in 17 with 16 clean sheets. It was just an improvement on Marin. Marin was quite poor for us. Lugovic, again, an E from the board. Apparently he's on quite high wages, which he's on £18,000 a week, which is, it's quite high for us. But he's done quite well since he came in. Byron Foster, the 19-year-old Australian, he's actually unhappy at the club. But apparently when I signed him, I made a promise to bring somebody to help him settle, and obviously I haven't done that. But he's spent large portions of the season injured. If we're being truthful, so he's not really had a chance to shine. Mitch Harrison was bought when I was experimenting with tactics. I stopped the experimentation because it didn't work. Therefore, he's not really played too many games for us. He doesn't really suit our formation. Glory Ilia Debata, signed in January, yet to play for us though. The 22-year-old Congolese man, brought in from Liverpool, yet to play because he's actually played for two. The game says, although he actually hasn't, but the game says that he's played for two clubs in the space of a calendar year. But he looks fairly decent, and obviously he's going to be in the squad next season. The other one was Marconi, again brought in when I was experimenting with formation, but he should be in the 20s. I don't know why he's in this squad, because he's just not good enough for it, and he is going to be moving on. Unfortunately, we paid £950,000 for him, so we're just going to have to cut our losses with that. In terms of transfers out, Eric Seri, obviously contract expired, and Yoon Young Hee, the £40.5 million signing for Barcelona. He's more of a bench player for Barcelona with a 6.97 rating. I was disappointed to lose Yoon Young Hee, but the board sold him from underneath me, unfortunately. Loans out, Alberto Marin at Strasbourg. The board were elated with the decision to loan him out and happy with the loan fee as well. He's not done too badly for Strasbourg. They've actually had a decent run in the Europa Conference League. I wonder what round they went out in. It looks like the quarter-final. Indeed it was. They were beaten 3-1 by Freiburg in the quarter-finals. So in terms of the season results, again, dominant in San Marino. This really, really annoyed me, though. This one little draw here against Juventus de Gano. We only actually conceded 2 goals across the whole season as well. Champions League, third place in the group, seems to be our place at the minute. Fantastic 4-4 draw at Old Trafford, though. And then in the European Cup, again, we had a decent run. Borussia Mönchengladbach, though, did beat us in the end. In terms of the final, Borussia Mönchengladbach actually made it past Bayern Munich, they won the first leg 4-0 and then drew the second leg 1-1. So they beat Bayern Munich 5-1 on aggregate. So to set up a final with Olympique Marseille there. And then San Marino Cup, again, it was another dominant performance. Top goal scorer Pedro Romero, that's actually a new record. Biggest win of the season was an 11-0 away from home against Viterno. The match to remember for some reason was a 10-0 win against Kailungo. Goal of the season goes to Alfie Moon. Hit a daisy cut from 27 yards out. It doesn't look like reputation-wise has grown again in terms of stars. Obviously, the numbers behind the scenes will have grown. Revenue-wise, these are yet to obviously come in with the 10-year coefficients and the remaining broadcast revenue from Europe. Matchday commercial is down though. Ramiro sold the most shirts this season. I don't know if merchandise is up on last season or not. How we lined up though, yes, I would maybe agree with that as being our strongest lineup. Maybe not Ottaviani. I suppose this goes off San Marino though, doesn't it? Selva as well, and obviously Ottaviani and Selva do play a lot in San Marino. Ramiro's finished the season on 85 goals. 85 goals in 44 appearances, which is absolutely crazy. And again, that's probably going to be a record. It is a record. He's also scored 54 in the league, so that's another record. Luca Brazzi's now on 267 appearances, and the Yoon Young-hee transfer fee was a record. So the fans player of the season was Ramiro. Sevilla is the young player of the season. Obviously, the goals and assists that we've spoke about there. So that, again, is history in the making. We've broken our new average attendance rating for in the league. Obviously, before I can upgrade the stadium, the board needed to be selling the stadium out constantly in San Marino. Confirmation that Ramiro has broken the record. He's broken it by 1 over his last season. Jurich hails me. Yeah, fantastic. We've now reached over 700 games in club management. If we just have a quick look at our record, these are our attributes. You can see that we're quite a good manager, aren't we? In terms of our history, let's have a look at career stats. We've now played 710 games. We've won 594 of them, scoring nearly 3,000 goals, conceding less than 500. So we've got a goal difference positive there of 2,416, an 83% win percentage. 13 cups and leagues, which is a fantastic. 5,008 days we've now been playing as a manager. Players bought 206 for 122 million. We're 4 million in profit in terms of players brought in and sold, which is quite nice. Obviously, I've got the end of season stuff to go through, sending the players away. I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to click forward till I get to the point where the season changes over to next season. Come back, we'll have a run through coefficients, stuff like that. I think I've got some signings lined up as well. Obviously, I do have a summer to go through as well before next season. Obviously, hoping to strengthen the squad again. Expectation meeting. We haven't had one of these for a little while. I hate this most set pieces, but they are pretty much the same as always. Champions Cup reached the group stage minimum, so that's updated now. That was playoffs minimum, so now they are expecting us to reach the group stage minimum, which does show us that we are obviously improving as a club. And this is actually going up behind the scenes, although the star rating hasn't actually improved. I am still waiting for some of these other clubs to turn professional as well. Some of them got a decent value. Domignano with $1 million there. Viterno's is still really, really low. Fiorentino's is $500,000. There's one in here who are valued like $3.5 million or something, and I'm surprised that they haven't. The Penarosa, $3.5 million, semi-professional. They're up to $1.5 in terms of their reputation. Eric Seri is listed as their key player, our former man, but I would expect to see some of these starting to turn professional fairly soon, and I really, really need them to be honest. And then obviously you've got us valued at 116 million. So yeah, I'm going to now go and do that clicky forward thing, and I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. Right, guys, we've reached that part of the clicking forward where the competition rankings have been announced. You can see there the San Marino League has moved up 8 places to 47th, which again is another good step in the right direction. Puts us above the Azerbaijani Premier League, on sort of level with the Bosnian Premier League now. Only just above the third tier in Germany, though. Croatian second league up there, Greek second league, Swiss second league as well. So you can, we do still have a long way to go in terms of rankings. Coefficients wise, we've moved up 3 places. We're now into the top 20, which is fantastic. If we have a quick look at that, we've gone above the likes of Espanyol, Roma, Marseille, Porto, I believe, have dropped down a bit as well. And we're still higher than a couple of Italian teams. In fact, there's a few teams ahead of us who were higher than. Obviously, we're going to add to that again this season. We did score a 17 last season, so we're going to drop this 7 off, hopefully replace it with something similar to a 17, which will obviously give us, what will we be on? We'll be on 81 if that happens. Yeah, it says right there. I'm trying to work it out in my head. It actually says it right there. Yeah, so again, we could move up a few more. We've now got a few more homegrown players as well. I think we've got a few who are very close. Nunez, Ilyashev and Cabrera should be homegrown by the start of next season. San Marino gain a Champions Cup place as well. So we've now got 2 teams into the Champions League, which is fantastic. We've risen up to 17th. So we get 2 Champions League teams and I believe 3 in the Euro Conference League. Conference League is the word I'm looking for. I think that's what happens anyway. If we have a look at the league table, it should tell us here. No, maybe not. I don't know. It will do next season. It will do next season. Obviously, I haven't actually reached that point where I've clicked over yet. We haven't. It's a silly season though, with bids for players. Ilyashev, Nunez, and Benavides are the 3 under heavy bids so far. I've tried to reloan Sevilla, but Arsenal want silly money for the loan, so that's not going to be happening. Unfortunately, I am looking for a replacement. If we just have a look at the scouting centre, you can see I've got a lot of players on my radar. Further down, there's a few central midfielders as well who I'm looking to bring in. So I'm going to continue clicking forward to the point where the season ticks over to next season. We'll have a quick run through of everything that's happened, and then we'll wrap the episode up and we'll go again next season. Right, guys, we've clicked over to the next season now. 2035-36 season, still on 2.5 stars. Rather disappointingly, in terms of San Marino League. Let's now have a look at qualification places. So it's still only showing the 4 teams. Obviously, it's going to be next season where we get the 5 teams in. I would have thought. So it's going to be Trapani, Folgore and La Fiorita who make it into Europe this season. Hopefully one of these teams can make it through a group stage again. Not a group stage, I beg your pardon. Through a qualification round. Because that would help out massively. Obviously, Nation Club coefficient San Marino last season we gained a 6.85, but Folgore obviously helped out with that just a little bit, which is really good. So we're currently sat on 30.5. We're due to drop down to 26.8 as it is, but that still sees us climb higher than Liechtenstein is still ahead of us. Obviously, we've got to add to that for this season as well. Hopefully, we get a decent 6 or 7 would be great to add to that to keep us moving up here to gain some of these qualification places. We have now gone ahead of Romania, Switzerland, Norway. I think Norway were the one who were ahead of us, but Liechtenstein is still ahead of us. So we need to keep improving. I'd like to skip these qualification places altogether. Straight into the group stage would be ideal, really, wouldn't it? And then we'd get, some of these other San Marino teams, we could get them into the group stages straight away. That would be massive in terms of coefficients. Champions League draw. CosmosEP in the second qualifying round. Okay, so we are in the second round. We normally come in at this round. So maybe it has ticked over and we've got the 2 qualifications. We're drawing against Flora or Maccabi Haifa. I imagine it's going to be Maccabi Haifa. We'll find out, obviously, when we... how many qualification games did we have last season? Yeah, so we came in at the first round, so we have changed. I'm not sure why it's why it's not showing up in the league. Then surely we're supposed to have 5 teams in Europe now. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be misreading it massively. But from what I can see here, San Marino, we get us into the second round. We get another team into the first round. Am I reading it wrong, or it says Champions Path though? Surely we get, the way I read that is we get one there in the second round, which is us. We get another team in the first round, and then we get 3 teams into the European Cup second round. That's the way I'm interpreting that. But it's only actually showing us as having 4 teams in Europe. Like I say, I could just be reading it wrong, or it's not showing up properly in here, something like that. Unless the one for the first round is the cup winners, and because we're the cup winners, we don't get it. And Trey Penny were the runners up in the cup as well, so it might be that. Maybe we'll see. Still no new signings on the horizon though. Still nothing to speak about. Obviously, that's something I'll go over in the next episode when we start the season proper. So I've got obviously the Champions League qualifying to go through, and then I'll come back next episode and we'll go through transfers. I have got these guys coming in, but these are all 16, 17, these are all youth players. I've got a new goalkeeping coach come in. My goalkeeping coach has actually retired. We do have a new signing though. We've got this fella, Dibatta, the Congolese. Obviously we signed him last season. He's yet to play for us. He's complete forward. He's more of a pressing forward. So if we compare him to, I think Gatta's probably our best pressing forward at the club now. You can see he's pretty good, isn't he? He's not bad as a pressing forward. Gatta's slightly better attacking wise, but attribute wise, he can actually tackle for a forward. He can mark. He can head. We might even change that pressing role forward to a complete forward role, which is what Dibatta actually plays, although he doesn't like big matches and he's not consistent. And we paid 6.75 million for him, so he's not exactly cheap. Not somebody who we can move on easily. Did anybody change to professional status during the break? Let's have a look. Domignano, no. Faiterno, no. Fiorentino, no. Folgore, no. Juventus Tegano, no. La Fiorita, definitely not. Libertas, no. Murata, no. Penarosa, this is the team who I thought would with that value, estimated value, but no. And they've also got the better reputation. San Giovanni, no. Tre Fiore, no. Tre Penny, maybe. They've got a decent value as well. They've got 1.5 stars, but again, no. Virtus, definitely not. Also, Kai Lungo, not valued very highly. And then we get to us. So I'm gonna still got a long summer to go through. I'm gonna try and loan as many players out into San Marino as I possibly can. And I'll catch you all for the next episode. Thank you very much, as always, guys, for watching. It's been a pleasure, as always, and I'll catch you all in the next episode.